Hey, welcome to Holistically Hope with Rachel Pontillo. I am Rachel Pontillo, and today I am so proud to share with you a bit of a talk that I gave this past weekend at the Diva Girl Philly conference at the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. Diva Girl is an incredible organization that started in Canada, actually, and is now fortunately in the United States. It is dedicated to supporting and empowering women across different areas such as entrepreneurship, fitness, health, beauty, and I am just really proud to be part of it, and it was my absolute pleasure and honor to speak at the second annual Diva Girl Philly conference. At this conference, I spoke on a topic that is quickly turning into one of my favorites, and that is how to use the law of attraction to improve your skin and improve your appearance. Give it a listen.
When we don't feel confident, or we don't feel beautiful, or we have a skin issue like acne or rosacea or hyperpigmentation or scarring, stretch marks even, it can be difficult to love ourselves. And we have a lot of reasons for that as women in this society. We are constantly barraged by images in the media, mass media, social media, all over the place telling us that we should have glowing, smooth skin that's young. We should look a certain way with our eyebrows, with our hair color, with our clothing. Our bodies should be a certain shape. And if it's not, then that means that there's something wrong with us and we have to fix ourselves in some way. Or we have to fake it somehow with filters and Photoshop and all that, right? If we constantly are putting the energy out there that we are flawed and that we are ugly or that we are fat or we're too old or too something, which is why we're not looking the way we want or living the life we want, that is the energy that we're constantly going to be attracting back. So with the law of attraction, again, what you put out is what you get back. Like attracts like, and dislike also attracts dislike. So it can be very hard when you are surrounded by an environment which is negative, which encourages self-loathing rather than self-loving. And for me, that certainly was the case. I continue to still be really sensitive to images in the media. I know Laura talked about the importance of surrounding yourself with positive influences, and that has a lot to do with what you read on the internet, what you choose to look at, whose pages you follow, what you watch on television, what you listen to in the car. Because these messages, whether we are conscious of it or not, they are repeated over and over again. And when they become ingrained in our minds and our thoughts are words that we alone hear, even if nobody else hears them, we're still sending out whatever message that is into what is considered the collective self-conscious, or the collective consciousness, I should say. And collective consciousness is what's known in metaphysics as kind of the universal consciousness. It's the intelligence that is linked to whatever energy you believe stemmed all creation. It's the same intelligence that causes best-selling authors to write best-selling books, masters to create beautiful works of art, dancers to dance Swan Lake flawlessly, gifted messengers and friends and mothers who nurture and care and advise in a way that always connects with whoever their audience is. That gift, any type of skill that just comes naturally, all of that energy is part of that universal consciousness. And what we put out into that universal consciousness is what subtly goes out to everyone, because we all plug into that consciousness, whether we're aware of it or not. If you think about electricity, it's something that you can't really see or hear, right? But you know it's there, but you can't access it until you plug something in or flip a switch. It's the same thing with this universal consciousness. We often don't know that it's there, that it's around us, until we do something to trigger it. So have you ever had a situation where things just start falling into your lap? Positive opportunities, happiness. You have good day after good day. You know, you're driving in the car, you hit every green light, there's no traffic, every song you love comes on the radio, the commercial seems short of that day. You're just breezing through your day like, okay, this is like the best day ever. And you're in a great mood. And then chances are you're going to have another great day and more good things will happen. That's because something happened that you put out, some kind of positive thought, positive action. In some way you affected collective consciousness to return that positive energy back in your favor. Whereas conversely, I always use the example of being late because when it's morning time especially, I'm not a morning person. You guys are lucky I'm like all made up and stuff today. Normally before 10 a.m. I'm like a zombie. But normally when you start off the day in a very frantic, chaotic frame of mind, you ever notice how you always hit traffic? Or maybe your mother calls just as you're trying to walk out the door and she will not get off the phone and it makes you late. Or maybe if you're at work, you have an annoying customer who just won't back down, or just little annoyances happen time after time. It's because whatever that chaos that you began with, or negativity, continues that chain reaction of negativity. And that chain reaction, whether it's positive or negative, does not change until you put something out there energetically to change it. And that can either be a conscious decision or it can be a subconscious decision. So how we train our minds to reflect more beauty in how we see ourselves, how we break that cycle of negativity in the media towards women's images, towards our own self-image. We have to take the reins. We have to take back our own self-image and our own skin, our own health. We have to take that back. And we have to do that by, again, starting with consciousness. So when we don't love something about ourselves and we see ourselves in the mirror, we see a reflection, what's the most common thing we do? We kind of like look real close in the mirror like, oh, what is that? Or, ooh, let's pop that. Or, ooh, let's scrub that off, right? That's not very loving. It's not very kind. So instead of doing that, I would encourage you, next time you want to pick at something about your appearance or about yourself, something about yourself, say it's a stretch mark or cellulite or something you don't love about yourself, stop yourself, pause, catch yourself, take a little breath. One thing you can do is look at yourself in the mirror and choose a neutral thing, a neutral observation you can make. So instead of thinking, oh my God, I have a big zit, or oh my God, I look so fat today, you can say, my hair is brown today. My eyes are brown. I'm tall. A neutral observation, something not positive or negative, but that's actually true. Because think about it. Humans learn over time based on repetition. You know, when you're a kid, you're learning your times tables. I remember I had to learn them. We did the flag salute every morning, and then we did a times table every day until we had it memorized. That's how I learned that, and that's also how I learned the Midnight Ride of Paul Revere, and I still know that to this day because of repetition. And when we're trying to learn something more positive, it can feel harder because it goes against all the negativity that we are constantly barraged with. But I promise you, just as we've learned to accept negative thoughts about our appearances or negative thoughts about ourselves, we can switch that and we can learn positive thoughts towards ourselves and positive feelings. And it can become as natural to us and as instinctual as those negative thoughts. So that when you go look in the morning, or in the mirror in the morning, instead of seeing, oh, that spot you want to zap off or pick at, the first thing you see is your beautiful eyes, your beautiful smile, your beautiful spirit. And that's what you focus on first. And the other stuff kind of just drifts away. So how do you do that? So we already talked about a neutral observation. That's one thing you can do. But what's really effective and what I encourage you to work up to is actually training your brain to react with a positive energy or a positive feeling, even if it's a negative stimulus. So again, we'll go back to the mirror example. You look in the mirror first thing in the morning, you see puffy eyes. Instead of even observing the puffy eyes, you just catch yourself and say, my eyes are beautiful today. Even if you don't believe it. Doesn't matter. Can you think of an example when you've been told something over and over again that's not true, but you've heard it so many times that it's the first thing to pop into your mind anyway? Right? Let's be real here. There's a lot of crap in this society that we believe and that we hear over and over again, and that we hear people say and preach and teach that we feel in the core of our beings is a load of crap. And how can people even believe this? It's because they hear it over and over again. So, if we want society to change, to be more supportive of women, and to encourage individual self-love and self-acceptance and positive beauty, if you are trying to heal a skin condition, the first thing you have to do is start with you. Collective consciousness does not shift until more individuals shift from a negative to a positive. So if you see something in the mirror that you don't love, the first thing you need to do is visualize yourself as whole, healthy, healed, and beautiful, and loved. And keep that image in your head. One exercise that I like to do with my clients and that I talk about, I haven't recorded this yet, but I plan to. And if you want a copy of this recording, come find me and I'll get your email and I'll email it to you. I call it the Goddess You visualization. And this is a very powerful tool. The idea is that you create an image of the goddess version of yourself. And that can be whatever you want it to look like. So if you guys want to close your eyes right now, just close them real quick. If there was a goddess version of you, and there is, what does she look like? Does she look like you? Does she look like a different version of you from another time in your life? What does she sound like? Does she have a musical lilt to her voice? Does she have a commanding presence when she speaks? What is she wearing? What is her hair doing? When she's standing there, how is her presence? Is she nurturing and loving? Is she powerful and strong? Is she a creative muse? What is she? Who is she? Does she encompass all of these characteristics? Everything about yourself that you ever wanted to be true is true in this goddess form of you. And the good thing is that this goddess of you is real. And it's as real as you allow her to be. So I encourage you to journal about this. If you're artistic, you could try drawing her or painting her, or if you do better with imagery that already exists, you could find different pictures and make a vision board or a Pinterest board of the goddess you. You could find, this is what she's wearing, this is how her hair is, this is maybe what makeup she wears, and keep those images in a place that you can access them, whether it's on your phone or whether you make a physical vision board. That's what I actually recommend. I'm a big fan of crafting and using your hands and that brain-hand connection. That is how I feel that people learn better, especially when we're talking about repetition. But the idea is the more life you give the goddess version of you, the more real she will get. And anytime you have a negative feeling about yourself, all you need to do is call on that goddess, pull her right into your mind, and convince yourself that when you look into the mirror, she is looking back at you. When you speak words, it is her voice coming through you. Because it's real. Did you know that visualization is so powerful that if you were to close your eyes for 20 minutes and visualize yourself on a beautiful Caribbean island on this perfect beach with the wind blowing and you hear the gentle waves of the water breaking and you smell the salty sea air and you hear maybe some steel drums in the distance, did you know that your brain doesn't know the difference of whether you're actually there or not? That visualization has the same physiological effects on your brain as actually physically being on that vacation has. So if you constantly teach your brain that this goddess version of you is real, your brain will believe it. And it will become first instinct. It will become first response. So if you are struggling with a skin condition, you just find that goddess version of you and pull up her image every time you pull up a negative image of yourself. And I promise you this, it works. I changed my diet, I changed things in my skincare routine, but until I changed my mindset, my skin did not improve. How I saw myself did not improve. I always still felt like I could do more. And there's nothing wrong with always wanting to improve yourself. But you have to understand, who are you doing this for? When does it stop? Because pursuit of perfection often leads to disappointment. Am I right? Learning to love yourself as you are, because that goddess you exists within you all the time. That is the first step. And the way to get there is through that repetition of positivity.
Thank you so much for listening today, and thanks again to Diva Girl Philly for inviting me to speak at the second annual Diva Girl Philly conference. It was my pleasure and honor, and I am so looking forward to attending another Diva Girl event soon. They are absolutely fantastic. To find out more about Diva Girl, go to www.divagirl-inc.com and learn about what type of events they offer and how you can get involved in your area. And if you liked today's episode, which I hope you did, I hope you will subscribe to my iTunes channel and my YouTube channel and come on over to holisticallyhote.com and leave a comment. Have a beautiful day, and I will be back soon.